The king continued. Very soon, I had become a member of the primitive tribe. My wife gave birth to a daughter, the source of more unhappiness to me. In course of time, 3 more babies arrived. I had become a family man in that tribe. I spent many years among this tribe, suffering the agonies of a family man with a wife and children to feed and to protect. I cut firewood, and often I had to sleep under a tree at night. When the weather became cold, I hid myself in a bush in order to keep warm. Pork was my staple diet. Time rolled on and I became old. I began to trade in meat. I took the meat to the villages on the Vindhya mountains and sold the best part of it there. What could not thus be sold at a decent profit, I cut up into bits and dried it in a terribly filthy place. When I was afflicted with hunger, I would often fight with others in the tribe for a piece of meat to eat. My body had become black as soot. Thus engaged in sinful activities, my mind had also become inclined towards sin. Good thoughts and feelings had taken leave of me. My heart had shed all compassion, even as a snake sheds its slough. With nets and other traps and weapons, I caused untold hardship to birds and animals. Clad only in a loin cloth, I endured every inclemency of the weather. Thus I spent 7 years. Bound by the ropes of evil tendencies, I grew wild with anger and used abusive words, wept in misfortunes, and ate rotten food. Thus I lived for a long time in that place. I drifted like a dry leaf in the wind, as if my only mission in life was eating. There was drought in the land. The air was so hot that it seemed to waft sparks of flame. The forest caught alight. Only ashes remained. People were dying of hunger. People chased after mirages, thinking there was water. They mistook pebbles to be balls of meat and began to chew them. Some had even begun to eat corpses. Some, while doing so, even chewed their own fingers, which had been soaked in the blood of those dead bodies. Such was their demented state of starvation. What was once a flourishing forest had been transformed into a huge crematorium. What was once a pleasure grove resounded with the agonized crying of the dying.